So, as a teacher in Australia, in Melbourne, Victoria, I've had the opportunity to test the real-life software firsthand, of course, and I found it to be super engaging. The technology is intuitive, easy to use. I'm a bit of a dinosaur now in terms of my years, and so having that intuitive software was really important for getting to grips with the program quickly. So seamlessly sort of transitioning into the game, I got given I chose at random at first, and I got given a life of someone in Ethiopia, and you get this information straight away. How does Australia compare to Ethiopia in terms of the United Nations Sustainability Goals? And you get all these measurements which are targeted, which sort of open your eyes straight away. We're teaching in Year 7 anyway about livability and water. So straight away I'm looking at the water and factors that might be indicative for livability, if livability is positive or negative. And so that information is readily available, very easy to take some notes, and then you get straight into the life, and it creates a narrative. So you've got this one person who's your character, so straight away you want your character to do well. And your character's growing up. There's a bit of malnutrition, and I had some stunted growth from not eating enough protein in my diet. There was a family death. That particular character died at the age of 2. And even though it was a brief go at the game first time round, I felt, I want another go. I felt like I was cheated in life. And I dare say that was like a eureka moment, because it was that empathy was developed for the character. Even though it was a piece of software and it's a virtual life, I had a kind of vested interest in that character. So when that character died unfairly at a young, like incredibly young age, 2 years, I felt cheated. And I think that is a powerful tool for students to develop that empathy with people around the world and understand how life can cheat you sometimes, but it doesn't have to. So it can be a springboard into sort of developing ways forward and ways of overcoming problems, whether it's poverty, climate change, or equality, whatever the situation is. It's a springboard. So that software can be a springboard for pushing on. In my own personal experience, I started the game again because I wanted another go, because I felt so cheated, and I chose the country this time, and I chose Iran because I've studied Iran before and I've got friends that are from Iran, and my life, I lasted a bit longer this time, but there was different issues as well. So I felt the game, it wasn't sort of a one-size-fits-all approach. It was very unique to the region or country where you have your life, your virtual life, and some of the choices of, should I get a job at the age of 14 to help support my family? I had friends on this virtual life who were, engaging in, drinking alcohol at a young age, and I ticked yes. And then my sister in the game rejected alcoholism because that's what she saw in me. And it's like you see the impact of your actions. And I was actually, you can sort of set your parameters of what your character's like a little bit, and I set my character to be like, quite intelligent. So they were doing what at school? Do I want to jump forward a year at school and things like that? So it was really involved. You had some real important, significant choices you can make to the character, and you saw the implications for that, not just for your own individual virtual character, but the family and the community as well. So super engaging software, great for developing empathy for others around the world, sort of bringing those stats to life. Sometimes as a class as a teacher, you show documentaries or things in a textbook, you give them information, and it's all a bit abstract. So developing that relationship with someone, even if it is virtual in another part of the world, really does build in that empathy and can be a springboard for developing other potential practical solutions for the world's problems.
And Michael, what other skills you feel as a teacher can be built or are building when you play a game like Real Lives? Maybe.
There's a variety of skills that you're building. I guess ICT straight away, because you're developing, using software. I would argue, you could do this as a collaboration, group work, where you could have an inquiry question, and this could sort of feed into the inquiry question. As I said, I mentioned that I am teaching this year about livability and water, so that could be the focus. Even though you're engaging with the game in a generic way, you've got that focus all the time, so you can look out for stats and bits like that affect livability or affect water use or water quality. In terms of other skills, of course, you've got literacy, you've got awareness of other countries and other cultures. Yeah, I think it's pretty fluid and flexible.
We use some word. We are not teachers, but we use something like global citizenship, or cross-cultural understanding, or social geography.
We have similar. Yeah, in Australia we have similar.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Absolutely, cross-cultural awareness is absolutely essential. And we live in a global community. Instant access to people halfway around the world, wherever that may be. I'm a bit. I feel like I've babbled on a bit too much, and I've run out.
And second is, I see a lot of teachers.
We're global citizens now. It's too reductive to think I'm just an Australian, or I just live in Victoria, or I just live in Melbourne, because as much as the choices and decisions we make in Melbourne affect other people regionally, nationally, and globally, other decisions are made which affect us as well. And I think in Australia, where climate change is there, plain to see, you've got bushfires, you've got record summer temperatures each year, you've got drought in various parts of Australia. We're quite, excluded from that in Victoria to an extent. But does it affect other people we know and love in our community? Yeah, absolutely. So developing that global citizenship is absolutely important. You've got to step outside of just my neighbourhood. It's a global, local nexus, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I appreciate what you can do on a local level in a global context.
Yeah.